Hello everyone, the last round of the MEC has just ended, so if you haven't had a chance to watch it, here's a little summary from me. Enjoy! In our qualifications, the first place got Jakub Król with 98 points, then on the second was Piotr Więcek 97.2 points, then on third place we had James Dean with 97.2 points also. Then on the fourth place we got Kevin Pesur 96.5 points, on the fifth place we got Paweł Korpoliński 96 points, on the sixth we got Jack Shanahan 95.5 points, then on 7th place we got Lori Heinonen 95.5 points, and on the 8th place we got Hiroya Minowa with 95.5 points. After the qualification, Piotr Więcek and Conor Shanahan were equal in points. Both had 390 points in overall standings. The rest you can see right now on the screen. Alan Hayes was the biggest surprise in qualifications for me because he ended up on 16th position with 94.5 points. It was nothing like his debut in the MEC on the Mondello track in Ireland. Yeah, unfortunately Peltola, Dave Egan and Adam Zaleski didn't make it. Despite everything, these were excellent, very high level performances, as evidenced by the drop zone of 88.5 points. But let's be honest, the track isn't particularly difficult either. Okay, here we have our top 32. Jakub Król lose with after the OMT with Clean Van Ord after very sketchy runs, like Alan Hayes wins with Tasiem, with Łukasz Tasiemski. It was the fight between sim racing players. It was super exciting and shows us that sim racing can teach you a lot. Sadly, Hiroya Minowa loses with Dwayne McKeever after hitting the wall. Very unfortunately, very unlucky debut in the MEC for Hiroya Minowa, but it is what it is. I hope we'll see him more in the next season. Next, Nakamura wins against Jarko Julha, then Adam LZ wins against Kevin Pesur, Bannett wins against Tor Arne Kavia. After Kavia hit the wall with his car, so it was basically free win for Bannett. Then Paweł Korpoliński wins against Holownia. Conor Falvey wins against Piscolti after OMT. Okay, and now fight between Piotr Więcek and Espen Roth. Here is the biggest disappointment and sadness for me. Unfortunately, Piotr Więcek loses after his car broke down just before the finish line, which guaranteed the championship to Conor Shanahan. And yeah, in this fight, obviously, Espen Roth got the win. Then Keski Korpi wins against Juha Poitalaxo. Heinonen wins against David Sposób. Conor Shanahan wins against Matt Field from Formula Drift USA after OMT. Diogo Correa wins against Rintanen. Jack Shanahan wins against Jakub Przygoński. Randall wins against Orion Nielsen. And yeah, that's our whole top 32. It was super interesting with few incidents, a lot of surprises, and unfortunately Więcek lost, which meant we didn't see a potential championship fight in the top 8 with Conor. I was hoping to see that, but sadly it is what it is. Okay, and here we have our top 16. Alan Hayes wins against Van Ord, and once again Hayes surprised me again, of course in a positive way. It's clear that this S15 from James Dean is working for him. Then Nakamura wins against Dwayne McKeever. Another surprise, Nakamura probably finally set up the car well for European tracks, thanks to which he managed to beat McKeever, or so I believe. And then we got Adam LZ wins against James Bannett. Paweł Korpoliński wins against Conor Falvey. Espen Roth wins against Keski Korpi. And the next big fight, Conor Shanahan against Lori Heinonen. The current year's champion was able to beat last year's champion. So yeah, Conor Shanahan wins that one. Unfortunately, it was a very unlucky season for Heinonen, but I hope that the next one will be much better. Next we have James Dean against Diogo Correa. James Dean got the win there. Next we have Jack Shanahan that wins against Oliver Larandalu. And yeah, that was our top 16. Again, a few surprises. Super interesting. Let's get to the top 8. Okay, and here we have our top 8. Naoki Nakamura wins against Alan Hines. This is where Hines' adventure ends this season. However, I think I can say that he surprised everyone with a completely different performance than at Mondello. He showed his best side and I hope we will see him in the next season. Next fight, Paweł Korpulinski wins against Adam LZ. I personally supported Paweł Korpulinski here, but Adam LZ also drove really well through the entire competition, so I hope he will appear for more rounds next season. Next fight, Conor Shanahan wins against Espen Ruud. Then we have James Dean that won with Jack Shanahan. And yeah, Jack Shanahan unfortunately hit the wall due to a malfunction which guaranteed the victory for James Dean. And here we have our top 4. Paweł Korpulinski wins against Naoki Nakamura after OMT. Super very exciting run from both drivers. Naoki Nakamura showed us very good performance in this round, but sadly for him it wasn't enough to beat Paweł. Then we have a fight between Conor Shanahan and James Dean, and yeah, Conor Shanahan got a win there. This year's champion showed why he is the champion. He managed to defeat the legends of the sport, James Dean, thanks to which he will meet Paweł Korpulinski in the final. Then we have our fight for the third place at the podium. Naoki Nakamura wins against James Dean, and here we have another big surprise. Naoki gives it his all, thanks to which he beats James Dean and takes the third place on the podium. I was super surprised about that, but also very happy for Naoki. I can easily say that it was his biggest achievement in European drifting so far. We move on to the finals here. Paweł Korpulinski, the hometown hero, takes on the reigning champion Conor Shanahan. We begin the first run with Paweł Korpulinski with a very good lead. Conor's chase could have been better, but it was stable. Conor's second run with a very good accurate lead, but Paweł attacks with a brilliant chase there. Much closer to Conor than he was to Paweł. Unfortunately, just before the finish line, there was a small contact which decided that this run would end up in a tie in OMT. In my opinion, this contact did not affect Conor's run at all, so Paweł should have won. But I'm not the judge here, so yeah. And so the playoffs begins. Paweł could have been a bit deeper in the first zone, but the rest looked very good until the last part of the track, where he probably made contact with the wall, causing Paweł to exit the last zone. Conor's second run in the lead was very good, accurate and safe. Paweł with a brilliant chase pushed Conor to the very end, but due to Paweł's mistakes in the first run, Conor took the win. And yeah, here's our quick season summary. So, unfortunately, the season is over. Conor Shanahan is crowned champion. Unfortunately, without much of a fight in the last round due to a failure in Więcek's car. So, Piotr Więcek and Jack Shanahan are in second and third place in final standings. Despite a minor accident in the round in Spain caused by an error of James Dean that completely eliminated him from racing, Piotr had a quite successful season with 2 wins, including a win at Mondello Park as the only foreigner to take first place at Mondello. It was a very good season with many surprises. Apparently next season will be even more exciting, with even more surprises, so we can only wait and keep our fingers crossed that everything will work out.